Just Books Podcast, Episode 1. Andropov's Cuckoo. Hello and welcome to this, my first podcast. I'm still finding my feet around how to do this, so please bear with me. I learn quickly, believe me. We'll start with my bio as an author, so that you know something about me, and then we'll move on to talking about one of my favorite books, Andropov's Cuckoo, a story of love, intrigue, and the KGB. Author Bio Owen Jones, Amazon best-selling author from Barry, Wales, has lived in several countries and travelled in many more. While studying Russian in the USSR in the 70s, he hobnobbed with spies on a regular basis. After university in Suriname, he got caught up in the 1982 coup when he was accused of being a mercenary. Later, while a company director, he joined the crew of 4 as the galley slave to sail from Barry to Gibraltar on a homemade concrete yacht during Desert Storm. En voyage, the yacht was almost rammed by a Russian oil tanker and an American aircraft carrier, the Atlantic Challenger. Since 2004, he has lived mainly in the UK, Spain, and Thailand. He now leads a somewhat quieter life in his wife's remote northern farming village, writing, editing, and increasing the number of translations and narrations of his novels. As he says, born in the land of song, living in the land of smiles. A proud Celt. I am a Celt, and we are romantic, he said when asked about his writing style. And I firmly believe in reincarnation, karma, and fate. So, sayings like, do unto another, and what goes round comes around, are central to my life and reflected in my work. I write about what I see, or think I see, or dream, and in the end it is all the same, really. He speaks 7 languages and is learning Thai, since he lives in Thailand with his Thai wife of 19 years. Early career. In 2004, he started his first novel, Daddy's Hobby, from the 7-part series Behind the Smile, The Story of Lek, a bar girl in Pattaya, but he didn't finish it until 2012. However, his largest collection is the Psychic Megan series, 23 novelettes on the psychic development of a teenage girl, the subtitle of which, A Spirit Guide, a Ghost Tiger, and One Scary Mother, sums them up nicely. However, since 2012, he has written 50-odd novels and novelettes, including the military drama Dead Center, the spy novel Andropov's Cuckoo, a fantasy fate twister, a philosophical vampire comedy The Disallowed, a whodunit tiger lily of Bangkok, and spiritualist drama A Night in Anwen, Anwen being the ancient Welsh word for heaven. Not only that, but many have been translated into foreign languages and narrated into audiobooks. In fact, he has over 1,200 books and novels credited to him at the British Library. You can find his many other novels on https://meganthermosconception.com. Well, that's who I am. If you'd like to tell me about yourself, please do so in the notes. I'm interested to know. Andropov's Cuckoo, a story of love, intrigue, and the KGB. I studied Russian in the 70s, and on one study trip to the Soviet Union, I met a girl, an older woman, to be honest. I was 22, and she admitted to being 28. Andropov's Cuckoo is our story. Well, most of it is. The beginning of the story is not true, but it could have been one day. It took me 40 years to write the story, but in the book, it took William 60 years when he was at death's door, which I don't think I am. Then the ending is wishful thinking for the reasons I give in the epilogue of the novel. At the time of writing, Andropov's Cuckoo exists in 13 languages. 1. Here is the description blurb from the back of the book. Andropov's Cuckoo, a story of love, intrigue, and the KGB. A dying man recounts the story of the most amazing person he has ever met, a brilliant Soviet linguist whom he calls Yuriko. It is a tale of love, daring do, Spies and Danger, set in Japan, Germany, Turkey, the USA, Canada, and the UK, but mostly in the Soviet Union of the 70s. Two girls, born thousands of miles apart in Kazakhstan and Japan just after World War II, meet and are like peas in a pod. They also get on like sisters and keep in touch for the rest of their lives. However, one wants to help her battle-scarred country, and the other wants to leave hers for the West. They dream up a daring, dangerous plan to achieve both goals, which Andropov, the chief of the Soviet KGB, is told about. He dubs it Operation Yuriko, and it is set in motion. But does it have even the remotest chance of success? Andropov's Cuckoo is based on a true story related to the author by one of the protagonists. Two reviews. A. Mickey Hope. HTTPS. bit.ly Andropov's Cuckoo Mickey's Hope. The beginning of the book is in the voice of an old man who knows his time on this earth is short, and he wants to get this story told. If you have ever been in the company of an octogenarian, you will be smiling at the back and forth way he speaks, forgetting then remembering, but bound and determined to get his own way. He ultimately decides that since he is having so much trouble focusing and he knows that he could never write the whole down in time, he uses a dictaphone. I defy you to pick up this book and be able to put it down. This story is based on a true story told to the author by a protagonist in the story. The author tells you all about this after the book ends. And what happens to Yuriko, which is not her real name, but one she chose, will stagger your imagination. It all starts in the USSR, when the KGB was feared, and rightfully so. One thing is for certain, Yuriko was not a cuckoo. Far from it. B. From Audible. Incredible listen. When it started, I found it a little slow, but truly this was an amazing listen. More incredible is the knowledge at the end that the story is true. Definitely not what I expected, and outside of my normal choice of literature, but I am so glad to have heard it. The reader is fantastic, from his articulation to his voices and everything in between. I hope more books like this one come out soon. I will definitely watch for both Owen Jones and James Hill. If Yuriko is still alive, I hope she hears this story too. 3. Clip from the audiobook.
Everything had to be done behind as dense a smokescreen as could be created. Transparency was definitely not the word of the era or the diplomatic service. Her job was nerve-wracking and dangerous, but exciting and rewarding. It was also intoxicating and addictive. She never looked forward to her holidays, but realized that she needed them when they arrived because she would be mentally exhausted. She saw a lot of Western Europe during her time off, using Bonn as a base, and once met her mother in Tito's Yugoslavia, where it was easy for her to get a visa as a Soviet citizen. Japan didn't object to Yui going there either. One day, after visiting the American consulate in Berlin, she overheard a conversation about an agent. The three men stopped speaking when they spotted Natasha in the doorway, but not before she caught the agent's name. It was Andreas Schmidt, and he was a double agent working in East Germany for the hated secret police, or Stasi. She passed the name back up her channels, and a few weeks later she heard, quite by accident, that he had been found murdered in an alley. A warning to others, most of her colleagues had said sagely, since it was admitted in newspapers that he had spied for the Americans. It was the first time that she realized that the consequences of her action could mean life or death for others whom she didn't even know. It frightened her to think that that man had only been doing what she was doing. She knew that neither Japan nor America would take her life for the activities she was carrying out, but she hadn't realized that her own people and their friends would. The matter-of-factness with which her embassy colleagues expected something like that to happen to a Soviet double agent made it sound a common occurrence, or at least the expected punishment for the crime. It was something that she would have to think about long and hard, because it shook her resolve and enthusiasm for her covert activities. It showed, and people noticed. She was a popular person, but didn't hang around with anybody in particular. She didn't have a boyfriend either, but that didn't stop her colleagues asking whether she was sick or perhaps even pregnant. She tried to put on a brave face and filtered the information that she sent so that it didn't endanger anyone's life. Her Soviet controllers soon noticed that she was sending them drivel and eventually asked why. She was approached one afternoon on a day off in a German cake shop while she was enjoying coffee and a slice of creamy cherry gâteau. "Do you mind if I sit here, miss?" asked a stranger as he put his saucer and plate down without waiting for an answer. Yui looked around. There were other tables vacant, but out of politeness she said, "No, please do." "Yui, isn't it?" he asked. "Miss Yui Mizuki." "Who are you?" "You could say that I am a friend of your parents. I know Poita and Marina very well. In fact, it was your mother who suggested that I come to look for you here. She said that it was your favorite cake shop." "How is my mother?" asked Yui, catching on. "Oh, she is well, very well, but she is concerned that you might have lost some of your former enthusiasm for your job. As you are no doubt aware, it took a lot of organizing, a lot of work, not to mention a lot of money, a great deal of money to get you where you are today, enjoying coffee and cake in an expensive coffee shop in Bonn. It's a lifestyle beyond the wildest dream of your former school friends. Would you not agree, Yui? So your mother is wondering whether you still want the job, or whether you want to go back home."
4 links. The first chapter of Andropov's Cuckoo on my blog, https://bit.ly/Andropov's Cuckoo first chapter. MPSB by links. 1. Audiobook, ISBN 97835438182. Tech time, https://bit.ly/Andropov eng TT audio 2. Ebook, ISBN 97835423416. Tech time, https://bit.ly/Andropov eng TT 3 ebook and paperback, ASIN B094B0HY4, Amazon, https amzen2 3pjcvst. If these links are unclear, they will be available in the notes. 5. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, free of charge, using the button below to be alerted when other episodes are released, about one a week. If Andropov's Cuckoo seemed to be your cup of tea, please use the links above to find out more, or buy the book. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Until next time, Owen.